Blood streams from a spear as Shaka watches his father's warriors retreat. The boy they scorned as a bastard stands victorious, but the rage in his eyes promises this is only the beginning. It's 1816, and 29-year-old Shaka has just claimed leadership of the small Zulu clan. What happens next will reshape the entire landscape of southern Africa forever. But the man who would become the most feared warrior king in African history was born into shame. In 1787, his mother Nondi, a princess of the Langini people, conceives him out of wedlock with Senza, chief of the insignificant Zulu clan. When Shaka enters the world, his very existence is an embarrassment. His name means intestinal beetle, a cruel reference to the stomach troubles his mother claimed to explain her pregnancy. His childhood is a masterclass in rejection. At 6 years old, Shaka and his mother are cast out from the Zulu kraals, forced to wander from settlement to settlement. The other children mock his stutter, his gangly frame, his obvious poverty. But humiliation is forging something deadly in this young boy. Watch him closely, he never cries. Instead, he studies. He watches how the older boys fight, how the men hunt, how power moves between the clans like a living thing. By 15, Shaka's transformation begins. His body fills out into 6 feet of pure muscle. His stutter disappears, replaced by a voice that commands attention. Most importantly, he is recruited into the army of Dingiswayo, the powerful Mtetwa king. Here, in the crucible of warfare, Shaka's genius reveals itself. Traditional Nguni warfare is almost ceremonial. Warriors throw long spears from a distance, engage in ritualized combat, rarely fight to the death. Shaka looks at this system and sees weakness. He abandons the throwing spear for a short, broad-bladed weapon he calls the Irua, named for the sucking sound it makes when withdrawn from flesh. He replaces the large cowhide shield with a smaller, more maneuverable one. Most revolutionary of all, he introduces the horns of the bull formation, a devastating encirclement tactic that will make the Zulu army unstoppable. But it's not just weapons that set Shaka apart. He transforms his warriors into a machine. They march barefoot across thorns and rocks until their feet become leather. They run 25 miles a day carrying full battle gear. Cowardice is punishable by death. Marriage is forbidden until a warrior proves himself in battle. These aren't just soldiers, they are an extension of Shaka's will. In 1816, when his father Senza dies, Shaka returns to claim what was never meant to be his. The Zulu clan numbers barely 1,500 people. But Shaka sees potential where others see limitation. Within a year, he's absorbed neighboring clans through conquest and diplomacy. His territory expands. His army swells. His reputation grows darker with each victory. Then comes the first great test. The Nwandwa, led by the formidable Zwide, command 30,000 warriors. They outnumber Shaka 3-1. In 1818, at the Battle of Cockley Hill, everything Shaka has built faces annihilation. The early hours go badly, Zwide's forces seem endless, and Shaka's innovations mean nothing if his men are simply overwhelmed. But watch what happens next. As his warriors begin to waver, Shaka doesn't retreat. Instead, he advances to the front lines, his Ikluwa flashing, his war cry echoing across the battlefield. His mere presence transforms his army. The horns of the bull formation suddenly clicks into perfect synchronization. The Nwandwe find themselves surrounded, cut off, slaughtered. When the dust settles, Zwide's mighty army is destroyed. This victory changes everything. Word spreads across southern Africa, the Zulu are no longer just another clan. They are a force of nature. Over the next 6 years, Shaka's territory expands from 100 square miles to over 7,000. His army grows to 40,000 disciplined warriors. Entire peoples migrate hundreds of miles to escape his advance, creating a phenomenon historians call Mfecane, the Great Scattering. But absolute power extracts an absolute price. The death of his beloved mother Nondi in 1827 breaks something fundamental in Shaka. He orders a year of mourning during which no crops can be planted, no milk consumed, no man can sleep with his wife. Anyone who shows insufficient grief is executed. Thousands die. His own people begin to whisper that their king has lost his mind. On September 22, 1828, that whisper becomes reality. His half-brothers Dingen and Mangana drive their spears into Shaka's body as he receives tribute in his royal crow. The man who seemed invincible dies as he lived by the blade. Yet Shaka's true victory isn't in the battles he won, but in the kingdom he created. The Zulu nation he forged from nothing survives him, ultimately growing to over 1 million people. His military innovation spread across Africa, transforming warfare from Madagascar to the Congo. When British forces finally faced the Zulu army at Isandlwana in 1879, they discovered that Shaka's legacy still has teeth. The Redcoats suffered their worst defeat in colonial Africa. Today, every time you see determination triumph over circumstance, every time someone refuses to accept the limitations others place on them, you're witnessing Shaka's enduring lesson. He proved that genius isn't born, it's forged in the fires of rejection, shaped by relentless discipline, and unleashed when the world least expects it. The boy they named for an intestinal parasite became the man who changed the course of African history forever.